My name is Shin Tatt. I graduated in Bachelor of Computer Science 2003. Did software engineering for a while and full-time life insurance agent now. So this was me bungee jumping in the year 2008. Basically to explain that this is a different aspect of me. So today my topic will be game development. For the techies, you all know that these are kind of like programming codes. So I'm going to go a bit on the technical aspect, but before that I want to just simply talk about the elements of game development. So here are some of the resources that I actually use. So I always believe that you want to start anything, you need education. Like what he was sharing just now, CrossFit, you have the website. So here I bought a lot of books, I went online, did a lot of research on game development. And I attended the game development conference, which is held every year. That was purely because I wanted to just understand what was game development all about. I wasn't even in the industry yet. And it was a very good experience for me. So, three elements in a game development process. First, your game design. Second, the engine. What kind of engine you want and the features. I'll be going very briefly on all these three elements. So, game design, you have to decide action, strategy, casual adventure. So like all these shooting games, what kind of games you want to develop basically. Some want to target more towards like shooting games, so that's a very popular choice. People do flight simulation, machine guns and all that. Then you have to decide what kind of platform. Different graphics cards have different requirements. So the technical aspect is like sometimes like this one would be OpenGL, it's open to all platforms, and DirectX of course in Windows. Then of course you want to develop depending Windows, Macintosh or Linux. So now I think the popular choice seems to be iPhone, the Mac platform. Everyone seems to be making money out of it. And I think later one of the speakers will be sharing on the evolution of games. So of course my preference would be what C, C++. Eclipse and Visual Studio is basically a platform for you to use to develop tools that actually you use to develop games. These are all just what I usually use, but Eclipse is the open source version. Okay, a simple game loop would be like you start the game, you enter the game, you retrieve the player input, the keyboard, whatnot, you perform the game's logic, and then you render the next string, you put it into the display and shoot it out. So what's interesting is that in our world, actually circles are used to be represented the smallest element, but in games, it's actually triangle. So a circle is actually represented by a lot of triangles. The more triangles, the more sharper the image, as you can see. Okay, so for me to even develop a square or program a square, I need two triangles. So that itself already is one simple function. Then, if I want a background, I put a simple wallpaper on it. And as you can see after this is how you have a terrain from a lot of squares. But basically, as you can see, it's all triangles. So if you realize a lot of games in 3D, right, they are actually repeating the images. Later on, nowadays, games are actually trying to extend from that. But it saves a lot of space. Okay, this is the technical side. What we call this is the binary tree. Basically, your program is to break down the triangles. So it repeats itself by creating more triangles. So the more depth you can see, the more detailed it will be. But of course, your processing power will also be consumed up by just developing on triangles. So as you can see, just a wireframe, more triangles, it may represent like a valley. And then if you put a texture, you can see even lighting. The image is a little bit blurred. And if you have less triangles, of course you can see it's not so sharp. But if you have more triangles and the most triangles, so in the last image itself, normal processing, it may take a lot of processing power from your CPU. Of course, then you have to add a camera to explore the terrain. So there's all these elements of y-axis rotation, x-axis, and z-axis rotation. And then your camera, as you can see, the viewing spectrum is only within this height. And of course, this is actually to demonstrate AI, collision detection, and then lighting. So the person sitting down, if you don't have a collision detection, it will just go through the level, you know. So of course, ultimately, this is the game that you develop. And this is interesting because, as you can see, the details are not repeated. So this is actually a breakthrough in game technology. And this is a very interesting game, it's Rage. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you.